Gilbert. I want to welcome you to my training tonight on the subject of going from hobbyist to professional. And what am I talking about? And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. These live calls. It's been a long day. Anyway, but I started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck to get started, put $200 into my business, and I've been living off residual income ever since. If that interests you, keep listening. Tonight I was talking about, just the subject of going from hobbyist to professional. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that in the business that you're in, many people, and this is a common problem that many people have, is that when they come in this business, they treat it like a hobby. What we have to remember is hobbies, and remember this, write it down, don't forget it. Hobbies don't make you money, hobbies cost you money. Hobbies don't make you money, hobbies cost you money. And the majority of people that come in this profession treat it like a hobby. They do. And I'm guilty of it because I did that for 14 years. I treated it like a hobby. I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years, and I treated it like a hobby my first 14 years. I thought it was fun. I didn't depend on my income on it. So I had some business accounts, and I had a business, money coming in, money going out, but I was living and you had a good life, but I didn't depend on my network marketing for my livelihood. And so it was a hobby, and I enjoyed my hobby. I really did. I bought a lot of cassettes. If you don't know what a cassette is, Google it. But I bought a lot of cassettes, listened to Conant Nightingale, Earl Nightingale, and so many great mentors back there, Jim Rohn, and listen to these people. And it's sort of like school. Maybe you have some friends and you can relate to this, but I had some friends in high school that when it came time to graduate and they went off to different, some of these really nice universities, they love being in those universities. Matter of fact, they just love being in school. But the problem is, from high school, it was go from high school to university. And after university, where do you go then? Well, then you got to go to the job. Well, some of them did not want to go to the job. I don't want a job. I just want to be in school. I like school. I like being in class. I like participating. I like these things. And so it's like that in network marketing too. We come in, sometimes it's a hobby. We like the hobby. I like the hobby. I like getting up in front of people and having a whiteboard and drawing circles and explaining hierarchy of a team and how you make money with a hierarchy of a team and what you got to do to get there. That stuff was fun. motivation and things like that, and meeting people, and it was pretty awesome stuff, right? Pretty awesome stuff. But the thing about it is, there came a change in my life where I had to go from hobbyist to professional. And that's what you have to look at. And you got to analyze it yourself. Some people just want to stay in this thing for the hobby. Just understand it costs you money. Remember Jordan Adler in his book, Beach Money? Jordan talked about this, how he spent thousands and thousands of dollars on books and seminars for many years. He never made any money in network marketing. Never made any money in network marketing. Of course, now he's a multimillionaire. And I went through the same experience all those years. Any money I did make in network marketing went into books and cassettes and, training events and traveling to this event and that event and things like that. Yeah, Debbie, that's right. 80%ers. So the thing about it is, so it was fun. It was a hobby. So the thing is that when you think about it, ask yourself, look at yourself. How long have you been associated with network marketing? If you want to make a comment, you can make a comment. How many years? How many books, cassettes, CDs? Well, Jeff, I'm not that old, man. We didn't do cassettes in our generation. We do CDs. Well, excuse me. All right. Okay. Don't get sensitive. All right. How many CDs did you buy? Okay. How much money did you pay going to seminars and things like that? Think about it. So the thing is, there's this thing that, it's like, we like going to, like Jordan Adler, he likes to skydive. Loves that stuff. Scared me to death, but he loves it. The idea of just going to the edge of a cliff and jumping, are you out of your freaking mind? It's like, okay, I like the view. I like looking at the Grand Canyon, but I'm not jumping. And so in this business, we sometimes we treat it like that. It's just a hobby, but the idea of making the leap sometimes scares us. So the thing is, you have to analyze that is that, like in my case, I went from hobbyist to professional. In my case, when I lost my business, when I lost my 2 major accounts, I took a serious look at network marketing. And then I made the shift. I said, it's not going to be a hobby anymore. Now I see the reality of things. I see the reality of what it's like to have a job, which is a bad reality. The reality of having a business where I have people I have to hire, fire. When they don't show up, I got to go out. I didn't like that. And then, of course, government makes it so difficult when you have to have employees and all the costs and everything that you have to pay out just to be in business. It's a nightmare. So when I looked at network marketing, I thought, wow, man, it's got like none of the downside, all the upside. And the only way you fail in this thing is if you quit. And I'm not a quitter. So I decided to take it serious. And that's exactly what I did. I had to make that shift. So here's some areas that I had to look at as far as my changing. And the first, I'm just going to mention a few, and maybe later in the week or next week I'll talk about some more of this. But just to hit on a few, is the first I had to look at is methodology. Methodology, the way I was doing the business. Sometimes the way we do the business is not exactly the way people want to do the business. I can tell you that in the 1980s, we had a corporate approach to network marketing. I had an office, and, we were like Wall Street, wearing 3-piece suits and all that, and had slide projectors. We had a VCR with a TV. We put a tape in, sip coffee with a prospect, look at a video in the conference room. Had overhead, obviously, but that was our approach in the 1980s, was we wanted to be seen as respectable and, just the kind of profession people would want to attract to because of that. And so then we would, run ads in the newspapers, find people who are looking for opportunity, have them come down. We do a 10 o'clock, a 1 o'clock. We'd have 7 o'clock meetings, and it was a busy office, and that's what we did back then. But, you know, there was downsides to that. The downside of that was a very expensive rental space I had. Matter of fact, that thing was a monster. And of course, I co-opt the cost of that with some of the other leaders. That's a lot of people did that in the 1980s. And if you ever heard of Jeff Roberti, I mean, that was it. He was the master, excuse me, the master teacher of that concept of just like a Wall Street approach to network marketing. Then, so the methodology changed. I just said, hey, that doesn't make any sense. And also, it's not duplicatable. You know, just to try to expand your business in different cities and states and all that throughout the United States, and then have people, you know, indebt themselves, you know, sign a contract to a rental agreement for office space, run expensive ads, whatever. And of course we learn, hey, it's really what drives this business is warm market. And so methodology changed. In the 1990s, though, conference calling was very popular, very popular. And it was great because when I started 21 years ago in my last company, in 90 days, starting all over, not knowing any of these people, built a team of 800 people in 90 days. Never left the driveway, never did a meeting. Boy, I love that methodology. That was pretty awesome. And so the thing about it is, my point is this, is that sometimes we just have to learn when there is a paradigm shift that we have to change. So be that person that is willing to make those adjustments. And I've always been that person willing to do that. I'm willing to do that now. I'm always willing to make those adjustments. There was a time, you know, I'm like, Zoom? Who uses Zoom? What's Zoom about, you know? Now I use Zoom all the time, okay? I love Zoom. I mean, you know, there's just certain methods and ways that we can do the business, and that's what I had to do. So here's the second, and that is schedule. I had to decide what I was going to do with my time and who I was going to do that time with. So I was not going to waste my time on people that were not interested, or just hope that the people in my downline were going to one day wake up and do something. No, I always assumed they weren't. I mean, now I would encourage them, I would support them, but I wouldn't give them a lot of my time if they weren't moving. I just understood what that meant. That meant that they weren't committed to the business. They were going to remain hobbyists. And they were not going to become a professional in the business. Not at that time. Not at that time. So then what did I do is I simply started spending my time scouting out new leaders. New leaders. Not trying to convince people or trying to create desire in people when there is no desire. Just find people who are ready to run and run. And that's what I wanted to do. So again, scheduling your time and knowing who to spend your time with. Most people in this profession will spend most of their time with the wrong people. We all do it. I did it. And you don't always know in the beginning that they're the wrong people yet, you know. I mean, some people talk the walk, but they don't walk the talk. And so it takes a little time to find that out. But then you got it, when you know that, you know they're not going to do it, then it's like, okay, be nice to them, you know, say hi to them, greet them in a Facebook call, whatever, but don't spend time with them, because that's not your runner. Those are not the people that are going to get you to where you want to go. And you got to get real with this. You cannot be in fantasy land. You got to know what you got. And a lot of people don't do that. They just want to believe, oh, I know she's going to do it because I know her. I know her quality. Right. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Now here's the third thing is that you going from hobbyist to professional is just understand the business that you're in. Now, you might be in a network marketing company that is involved with travel. It might be involved with skincare. It might be involved in selling jewelry. It might be involved in selling health and wellness. Different products, or it might be services. It might be prepaid legal, or do they still have that company anymore? I forgot. I think it's called Legal Shield now. Anyway, but different services and things like that. But I'm telling you, the business you're in is really not that. The business that you're in is the people business. You are in human services. That is your business. Because unless you get that involved, those products are going to sit in a warehouse. They're never going to move. They're never going to move. What makes, a great network marketing company, or even the leaders in a great network marketing company, do millions of dollars of business every month, is creating a network of people. And that's what, people just don't get that. There's too much drama coming from some of the critics of the network marketing profession, saying it's all about recruiting, it's not about selling products. Well, if you don't have salesmen, how are you going to sell products? If you only have a few, how much products are you going to sell? I mean, these people got brain damage. The more salesmen that you have, the more products are going to be moved. Doesn't that make sense? Of course, the other thing is they don't consider a distributor a consumer. Well, of course, why would he consume his own product, right? He's just going to promote it. The stupidity we see today in the critics. So the thing about it is, if you want to move millions of dollars of products, then what you have to do is find people who have a millionaire mindset. That is, they want to be a professional. They don't want to be, just a hobbyist. They really want something big. Those are what we call your drivers. And you only need, if you want to make a 7-figure income, you can do it. You can do it with 24. You sure can. You sure can. I do. Actually, I got more than 24, but I'm going to tell you that for sure you can. You put together a structure of leadership, some people that know how to empower others, really move a team. You can move millions of, dollars of products and earn a very significant income. So that's the thing, but here's the other thing about people skills, okay? And this is it. Since we are in the people business, how we perceive people is how we treat people. And if we look at our downline as like employees and treat them rudely, not very kind, not supportive, I've seen it many times. And by the way, for those people out there that treated their people like crap, treated their people like trash, I want to thank you, because some of those leaders came over to my team. They found a team that would give them some love. So that's the thing. When we treat people rudely, they've got choices. They can leave. They can go find another team. So no doubt, matter of fact, you probably went through those experiences yourself, where people have joined your team simply because of the way they were treated so poorly somewhere else. So, excuse me. I was in the gym earlier, man. I'll tell you, just pumping it, running and hitting the weights. And then enjoying my sauna. That's my reward. Sweating it out. And thinking about, what am I going to talk about tonight? And but if we treat people and give them, just understand, we need to give them great service. Make them feel special. I'll tell you what, you create the sticky stuff. That is the stuff in the relationship, the sticky stuff. If you do that, they will stay with you. I don't care what your company goes through. All companies go through issues and problems and things like that. But they'll stay with you. If you give them the sticky stuff, if you show that love, if you show that appreciation, if you make them feel special, because they're not getting it anywhere else. This world is very critical. People can be so rude. I mean, get out on the freeway and drive, right? Man, good grief. It's like you're in a war. It's crazy. So, but be so different with them, and just understand that's the business you're in, is the people business. And if you have those people skills and get good at it, I always tell people, how to win friends and influence people. by Dale Carnegie, if that's the only book you ever read, if you say, I hate reading, but I'll agree to read one book for my business, then okay, that'll be the one. And because if you apply that book, I tell you, you're going to do very well in network marketing, very well in network marketing. So that's the thing. So get good at that. Get good at your people skills. Now here's the fourth, and I'll just leave it with you. And I'm not going to go into a training on habits, okay, but that's a big part of it. You know, it's interesting. I heard a statistic that 40% of our actions and our decisions, 40% are from habits. Habits. In other words, from the time we wake up through the day, 40% of what we do, we don't even think about it. We just do it. We just do it. And that would be great if they were great habits, right? If they were empowering habits, if they were productive, if you got great results from these habits, that would be great. That would be great. But in this profession, that's not usually what we see. How many times do you know, you might have seen this with yourself, but in your team, that people just are very hesitant to prospect? They're afraid to go to their warm market. Or if they did send them something, they are afraid to follow up. You know, it's like they message them the link to the video, right? The prospecting video. And then they're thinking, okay, it's been, let me see now, 3 days. Well, I think she'll call me by the end of the week, surely. And then the end of the week comes, then it's like, oh, she probably just got busy. Yeah, she probably just got busy, yeah. Maybe next week I'll hear from her. Yeah. See, those are the habits we're talking about. Bad habits. Habits that really hurt us. They hurt our business. And it's not just actions. It's also, keep in mind that habits are also thoughts. They're attitudes, replay attitudes that we have, mindset attitudes that we default to when, you know, from the very time you wake up in the morning. Oh, gosh. It's another day. Crap. I hate my team. Oh, I wish I had better people. Oh, wow. I'm probably going to have to listen to some stupid messages from stupid people in my team. Yeah. Yeah, what do we think about? What do we default to? And so that's the thing that we have to analyze. So you can do that tonight and ask yourself when you wake up tomorrow, try to be conscious of what you're not conscious of and what you really try to avoid. I'm telling you, just following up with people is probably one of the biggest ones. I learned that back in, when was that? In the year of 1993, when I answered 100 ads in USA Today, because that's what networkers did back in 1993. They ran ads, seeing if they could pick up some new leaders, new distributors. I answered 100 ads, and out of 100, only 10 responded back with some information. That means they mailed it to me. And then out of those 10, none of them followed up. And believe me, it hasn't changed. It has not changed. So again, we're talking about bad habits, right? And then sometimes it's just the not knowing what to do when they say, okay, I'll join you. You will? Okay, good. And inside you're thinking, oh my God, now what do I do? So again, and of course what you should do is you should hopefully have somebody in your upline that's going to give you how to onboard train them, okay? But if you don't get on the training calls, if you're not plugged in, you don't know. But that's a habit, right? It's a habit not to engage and not be there. So those are the things I want you to reflect on tonight and watch tomorrow. And if you want to leave comments and bare your soul on this call and let me know what that was, that's okay. Let me tell you something. We are all guilty of this. In my process of, or my journey rather, for 40 years, I went through that too. Nobody ever started in this business perfectly, doing it perfectly. We didn't do it. I mean, you have to suck at this for a long time before you start getting okay with this. And you have to be okay with this for a period of time before you finally can start getting good at this. And if you stay with it long enough, getting good at this, you'll find some good people. And eventually, you'll get great at this. And then you'll have some great people show up too. Because again, you're only going to attract what you are, right? So the best thing to do is just to get on with it, right? Just get on with it. So that we're not going to treat it like a hobby. We're going to treat it like a profession. And so just say, doggone it, listen, Jeff, you know what you're doing. You know the games you're playing with yourself. Now, you need to get honest with yourself. These are your habits that are your bad habits. Let's make a list of these things. Let's make a list so that we pay attention. And then let's write out action steps that are the opposite of these things so that we're going to start forming good habits. And we're going to do this continually for period of weeks and months until we finally, till it's just a habit, but it's a good habit. So those are some things that I was thinking about today in my gym and I thought would be helpful to you, is just don't treat it like a hobby. Because I see a lot of people, they're expecting greatness from this. They're expecting, just great rewards, but they're just not showing up as a professional. And they're not treating it like a business. They're not treating it like a business at all. Treat it like a business, not like a hobby. And it'll give you great rewards. I appreciate all of you guys getting on this call tonight. And, Yvonne said she listened to chapter 1 of The Secret, Earl Nightingale. What a great man. Love that baritone voice. He should have been an opera singer too. Maybe he was. Maybe that's what he did on his off time. But I appreciate you guys and you ladies getting on this call tonight. It's been wonderful. And if you just got on now, catch the replay. I really appreciate all of you. We love this profession. And by the way, if you haven't got my book, Reaching the Peak, it's on Amazon. Reaching the Peak, my 40-year journey in network marketing. Pick up a copy, leave me a review. I appreciate you guys getting on tonight. Everyone, have a wonderful evening.